celebration too. It actually says the 4th of July.
So you'll see people come back in here. What's the qualification? The qualifications for people going on with enlightenment, the growth of the system. Every 4 years after that, will come back in here.
We do not want a country that spies on our MPs having this super embassy right here. And I will do everything within my power to continue.
I thought this day could not get any worse, but it just did. I am actually quite more shocked than I was before. Because I heard yesterday that he was trying to do it, but now when he's saying the specific countries, just shows he has no remorse for any kind of human being now. He's just arrogant and a very big bully. He does not care of anything. His way of saying things are just so specific and so disrespectful and hateful that it's just hurting everybody around him.
Inuit amamatatisun, imminammin okajahtuu taasi mangippan, solt ersarissisong, kujan nappugut.
Well, I mean, a tariff of 25% is nothing against the free world, is it? I think that's the way you have to look at it. This is a fight for freedom, it's for NATO, it's for everything the Western Hemisphere has been fighting for since World War II.
Hola. Kujan nappu.
I don't know whoever will get to do that, but I hope that this focus of taking control of Greenland, total control of Greenland, will no longer, that will disappear again. We just want to live in quiet and peace and with each other in this great country. We are the ones who know our country best. We know how to take care of it, and we just want the world to know that.
I don't know what he's thinking, and I really don't want to have him being in my head or in my voice at all. He makes so much. He puts so much pressure on us as a people, and I think it's surreal and it's unreal to be part of that circus he's doing right now.
There are no pressing security threats to Greenland, but we share real concern about Arctic security going forward. As the climate changes, as the sea ice retreats, as shipping routes change, there are legitimate reasons for us to explore ways to invest better in Arctic security broadly, both in the American Arctic and in our NATO partners and allies. The people of Denmark are very anxious, are quite concerned, and the people of Greenland even more so, and that this current tone and tempo of statements about acquisition is not constructive. There is almost no better ally to the United States than Denmark. If we do things that cause Danes to question whether we can be counted on as a NATO ally, why would any other country seek to be our ally or believe in our representations?
We cannot allow this to become a partisan matter. We just simply cannot.
I hope that the people of the Kingdom of Denmark do not abandon their faith in the American people, in our fundamental goodness, in our respect for Denmark and for NATO and for all we've done together. The Americans who were deployed and served in Iraq and Afghanistan know better than anyone that Danes served alongside them in some of the hardest missions and in some of the most difficult places and did it honorably and well. And so you've already done the hard work. We simply need to remind our nation of that so that our ongoing conversations domestically within the United States, in members of Congress and between the branches of our government are better informed by the facts.
Welcome to Bullion House, where history and value meet. Step into our brand new showroom ahead.
The UK, Denmark, Finland, France, the Netherlands, Norway and Sweden have issued a joint statement saying Trump's Greenland threat risks, quote, a dangerous downward spiral and undermines transatlantic relations. The NATO members then went on to say that they stand in full solidarity with the Kingdom of Denmark and the people of Greenland and are ready to engage in a dialogue based on their principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity. On Sunday, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said in an interview a US invasion of Greenland would make Putin, quote, the happiest man on earth. He explained that any military action by the US against Denmark would damage NATO and legitimize the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. European leaders have pledged a united response after US President Donald Trump threatened fresh tariffs until Denmark agrees to sell Greenland.
European allies have warned Donald Trump that his tariff threats over Greenland risk a dangerous downward spiral. 8 NATO members, including the UK, have slammed Washington's rhetoric over the Danish island. Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Norway, Sweden and Britain face 10% tariffs on exports to the US from February. These rates will then rise to 25% in June. In a joint statement, the allies said they stood in full solidarity with the Kingdom of Denmark and the people of Greenland. They said, "We stand ready to engage in a dialogue based on the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity that we stand firmly behind." The European nations also highlighted that they were committed to strengthening Arctic security as a shared transatlantic interest, emphasizing that recent NATO drills were not taking place specifically in preparation for a US invasion. The group said their latest exercises pose no threats to anyone. Sir Keir Starmer and his allies stated, "Tariff threats undermine transatlantic relations and risk a dangerous downward spiral." The Prime Minister has also rejected calls to cancel the King's upcoming US visit over Trump's recent rhetoric. Secretary General of the International Chamber of Commerce in the UK, Chris Southworth, branded the tariffs extremely unhelpful and completely unnecessary. He noted that the latest threats were straight out of the Trump playbook. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen also pledged on Sunday that Europe will not be blackmailed. In the face of the tariff threat, she said, "We want to cooperate, and it is not we who are seeking conflict." Italy's Prime Minister said that she had urged the US President to withdraw his threats. Giorgia Meloni, often regarded as a Trump whisperer, said she called the President's tariff threats a mistake. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron is reportedly weighing up activating the EU's anti-coercion instrument, dubbed the Trade Bazooka. If implemented, the unprecedented tool would allow the EU to hit back at countries that put economic pressure on its members to change their policies. The bloc may then be able to slap their own countermeasures, such as tariffs or market restrictions, on the US in response.
It's very clear that we want our own country for ourselves, and we won't receive anything from Trump no matter what.
Of course we are not for sale. We are a free people. We have always been a free people. We have never had wars. We have togetherness in our mindset. We take care of each other, and that's something actually a lot of other countries in the world could learn from us, that we take care of each other and protect each other. So that's why we're here.
We have always welcomed collaboration with the outside world and with the US, and now we are talking about being occupied or bought. It is unacceptable, and it affects the people of Greenland. As you can see today, it has a lot of resonance with them. They want to show their disgust with this.
We're protesting against the orange dictator in the US who is trying to bully his way to undermine the sovereignty of the Greenlandic people and take away their right to decide who they want to be part of.
This is important for the whole world. There are many small countries. None of them are for sale.
UK residents between 50 and 85. There's something important you should know.
Greenland ikke til salg.
Og jeg går jo rundt. Og vi siger tak til ICC Alaska. Questa partita in un po' pressione, mi dà un po' parte. E stavo
I thought this day could not get any worse, but it just did. I am actually quite more shocked than I was before. Because I heard yesterday that he was trying to do it, but now when he's saying the specific countries, just shows he has no remorse for any kind of human being now. He's just arrogant and a very big bully. He does not care of anything. His way of saying things are just so specific and so disrespectful and hateful that it's just hurting everybody around him.
Inuit amamasta chisun, iminang minukayak tuda si mangipan, sot ang sarisisong, kuyan na pugod.
Well, I mean, a tariff of 25% is nothing against the free world, is it? I think that's the way you have to look at it. This is a fight for freedom. It's for NATO. It's for everything the Western Hemisphere has been fighting for since World War II.
Ola! Kuya na to! Kuya na!
I don't know whoever will get to do that, but I hope that this focus of taking control of Greenland, total control of Greenland, will no longer, that will disappear again. We just want to live in quiet and peace and with each other in this great country. We are the ones who know our country best. We know how to take care of it, and we just want the world to know that.
I don't know what he's thinking, and I really don't want to have him being in my head or in my voice at all. He makes so much. He puts so much pressure on us as a people, and I think it's surreal and it's unreal to be part of that circus he's doing right now.
At the Gym Group, we've got loads of top quality equipment for the 10 eggs for breakfast group.
EU ambassadors are holding an emergency meeting this afternoon to discuss the White House's push to annex Greenland. Ahead of that meeting, Italy's Prime Minister said she'd spoken with Donald Trump. Giorgia Meloni said she thought his threat of more tariffs was a mistake, but believed there'd been a misunderstanding between the US and Europe.
It seems to me that he was interested in listening. But from the American point of view, the message that had come from this side of the Atlantic was not clear. It seems to me that the risk is that the initiatives of some European countries were interpreted as anti-American, when that was not the intention. Clearly, the actors that concern everyone are others. But I didn't think this message was clear at all.
Our US correspondent Mark Stone has been speaking to key diplomats in Washington, D.C. about this, who are warning that the US president is serious over his threats to Greenland and that Europe could soon be forced to make some more very difficult decisions.
The situation is critical. Those are the 4 words a top diplomat used when I asked him about Trump's position on Greenland. Others have used similar language: unprecedented, extraordinary, urgent, serious. So here are 5 takeaways from conversations I've been having here in Washington, what all this means and what next. First, Trump isn't bluffing. It is the Danish government view, underlined following their foreign ministers' meeting with Trump's team last week, that the American president is serious. He wants ownership of Greenland. The challenge is to find a compromise, a middle ground, if there is one. And that's the second point. There appears to be no compatibility at all between Trump's position and the EU-Danish Greenland position. Danish attempts to remind the Americans, including this past week at the top-level meeting with J.D. Vance, that they can place as many troops as they want in Greenland. They can rename a base Fort Trump if they want. They can discuss access to critical minerals. The Danes and the Greenlanders say they're open to anything except giving the place up to Trump. Yet the American position is, we appreciate all that, we understand that, but now the president believes the only way to secure Greenland from Chinese and Russian threats is if it becomes American territory. Incidentally, from conversations here, it's also clear, I think, that within the US administration, there are varying views on the wisdom of Trump's Greenland position. But as we know, Trump calls the shots and no one seems to question him. And so all that makes dialogue difficult and compromise kind of hard to see. There may be pressure on Denmark to cut a deal, but as I say, it's hard to see what the middle ground is and what that deal might look like. And so the third point is whether the Europeans will again capitulate to Trump. They bent the knee again and again to the American president, bowing to his demands, petrified of what his tariff threats might do. But this time I kind of get the sense that they're beginning to get tired of his games. They'll hold firm, maybe, because ceding a European territory to America under duress or otherwise is unthinkable. Still, if he follows through with the tariffs, they will hurt. It's worth underlining that there are unquestionable strategic reasons for Greenland and America to be close. And so in that sense, Trump does have a point. But the European argument is all that's possible. It's possible to be close to Greenland without Greenland having to become American. A final thought, the British context to all this is, I think, awkward, because while other European countries have seen Trump as an unreliable ally, Keir Starmer has consistently claimed that Britain has got a handle on Trump. They know how he ticks, how to deal with him, hence the superior trade deal secured by Britain. All that is looking just a little bit awkward now.
AI cooler than BI? Not